Did y'all know they coming out with a cat Ozempic called Meow One? Sound like a joke, right? No. It's not. I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable. Okay, that's completely unreasonable. I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate. Fitting, suitable, logical. All things I would definitely say describe me. Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable. Hey, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I am Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome, be reasonable. And for my returning reasons, as always, thank you so much. I hope you guys have been reasonable. I hope the people around you, your environment has been reasonable. I hope everyone that celebrates Turkey Day had an enjoyable time. My older sister who has special needs, she really bought bought into it, like the festiveness of it, because when I was at my mom's house on the day, I think it was Thanksgiving Day, she kept walking around announcing what she was thankful for. She was like, I'm thankful for, and she's very vocal, but this was very intentional. And I was like, okay, well, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for my family. She was like, I'm thankful for my family. We was like, I said, oh, she really, okay. It's the holiday for her. As much as I don't celebrate or even really acknowledge it, I did appreciate the time with my family. I really, really did. After my shows in Detroit, I spent the full week with my family from Sunday to Sunday, really Sunday to Monday, really Sunday to Sunday. I spent the entire the entire week with my family, and I loved it. Oh my God. I didn't answer a phone call, a text. That wasn't from like my family. If you tried to reach out to me and you wasn't my family, I'm sorry, but you did not hear back. I did not pick up the phone. I don't care that you're FaceTiming me. I don't care that you're FaceTiming me over and over and over again. I don't care that you're one of my very, very close friends. I don't care. If you were not my family, I did not talk to you. Like, I just sat on the couch with my mom and or my siblings and or my nephews for 7 days. And it was fantastic. Like I said, I loved it. You sent something to the group chat. I still haven't looked at it. I'm so sorry. The most the group chat may have gotten from me was like a thumbs up or a double tap, a heart. That's it. That is it. Yeah. One of my friends called me and she was like, hello, it's me. I said, hey girl, what's up? She called me yesterday. I was like, hey girl, what's up? Well, I guess she called me a couple of times, but I guess I picked up yesterday. And she was like, hey friend. And I was like, hey girl, what's up? And she was like, I'm still waiting for you to respond. And I was like, oh wow, what did I miss? And she was like, look at the text, friend, look at the text. And then I looked and I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said I was supposed to respond. I am so sorry. I was with my family. And she was like, but I knew. She was like, that's the reason why I ain't call you and really like blow your phone up and get on. I said, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I know she's back in LA, and I'm going to give her a prompt phone call. Like, hello, friend. How have you been? I was supposed to watch this documentary she sent me so that we could kiki about it. That's it. She loved documentaries. And we watch a lot of shows and kind of just be talking about the shows. And so and I was like, documentaries are your thing. Like, I really do. Here's the thing, you guys. I really love I love anything sports related, but not really sports. Meaning, like, I ain't watching football, although we're going to talk about some football stuff today. I ain't watching football, but I will watch a movie about football. I will watch maybe not a show. Possibly. It depends on how good the first episode is. I will watch a movie about football. I will watch a documentary about, I don't care if I never heard of the sport before in my life, because something about documentaries and movies about sports is, they got to overcome something impossible. And probably they do it. And it's so motivational. I just love it. I just love some of my most favorite things that I watched. During the pandemic, how everybody was like, I loved Upload, which I appreciate. Or whatever they loved during the pandemic. They found a new creator. They found a new person who makes content on social media. That's fine. You know what I was loving during the pandemic? The Last Dance. That Michael Jordan document. I actually had bumped into the comedian Little Rel. We was in the Delta Lounge. That ain't no flex. It just details of the story. It's not like we was in the Delta One Lounge. Anyway, I can't remember how we started talking about it, and it was very early in the morning, so I definitely don't know how we started talking about it. But I was like, oh, I love The Last Dance. Like, and he was like, I just rewatched it. Like, it's fantastic. I'm like, I'll be forgetting you could rewatch stuff. Like, I will rewatch a movie, but like, and I'll rewatch a comedy hour. I'll rewatch a comedy series, but I don't know. I ain't never really rewatched the documentary. I got to go back and watch The Last Dance because anyway, I'm get back on task, Zainab. Okay. Anyway, I was like, girl, I ain't talked to nobody. I was with my family. She was like, I know, that's why I ain't blow you up. But hello, you're back now, right? Can we talk? And then we talked. Did I thank everybody for coming to my shows in Detroit? Thank you. Thank you, everybody that showed up to my shows in Detroit. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all coming out to see me. I went to the Brandy and Monica concert while I was in Detroit. Great job, ladies. Great job. As Rihanna said, give them a round of applause, a standing ovation, because you put on quite a show. Thank you. Maya did great. I don't know Maya's last name. I don't think she goes by her last name. I was about to reach and drink more of my latte, but it's gone. But I do want y'all to know, game changer. Guess what? I stopped making my lattes with almond milk. Guess what kind of milk I'm using now? Pistachio. Game changer. I don't even know if I could get a latte outside now if they don't got pistachio milk. And let me just tell you, I was on a hunt for one because I started doing it before I left. So while I was in Detroit, I'm looking for coffee. And I see certain places. They like, yeah, we do a pistachio latte. That's what we known for. And I get there and I'm like, how do you make your pistachio latte? Are you using this particular milk? And they was like, no, we use a pistachio syrup. And I was like, is it made in house? And they was like, nah. I'm like, okay, no, thank you. Y'all know I'm particular. You could sell me on a syrup if you tell me the syrup is made in house. But if you order your syrup, so this syrup came from a factory. First of all, you want me to put syrup? I typically don't be putting syrup in my drinks, really. Like maybe I'll do like a small pump of like simple syrup, which is just like melted sugar. But it's just like I ain't really the syrup type of girl. I'm not gonna get a vanilla latte. I'm not gonna get you know what I'm saying? I'm not the. But if you one of them little small places and you like, yeah, we make the lavender. I don't want no lavender in my coffee. But if you be like, we make the lavender in-house, we make it in-house, and it's my favorite. I'll be like, fuck it, throw it in a bag. Anywho. So much so that when I finally got to my sister's house, I was like, girl, guess what I've been doing? She was like, what? I was like, I'm not using almond milk no more. I've been drinking it. I mean, I will drink almond milk, of course. But I was like, I discovered pistachio milk. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, the first time I had it was in London. I was like, and it was good. I said, but I didn't really think about it that much when I got home. I was like, and then I was ordering food on Uber Eats and I saw pistachio milk as an option. And I got pistachio milk. I said, and I've been making my lattes with it ever since. And it's a game changer. And my sister was like, we got to get some. So I'm looking in places that sells this particular, a lot of brands don't make pistachio milk, but I'm looking for this particular brand. And I'm not going to say it, you guys, because they're not paying me. But I was like, we got to find it. And my sister was like, dang, it says they only have it at Target. And then I said, we got to send your husband because her husband's white. I said, we have to send your husband. And she was like, why? Why? And I said, girl, because, you know what I'm saying? Target is the ops. He could go in. I said, I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's a loophole that I'm taking advantage of for my own. Ain't that something? Ain't that crazy what human beings do? And this is why we will be our own demise. We will be the cause of our own demise. Because I was like, I want this pistachio milk so bad. I will send my white brother-in-law behind enemy lines to get it. Then, like, I don't know, a couple of days later, he came in with some groceries. And I didn't even notice the bags was Target bags. I didn't even notice it. And then I just looked at something. I can't remember what else I looked at in the bag. I did not even notice they was Target bags. And I said something. He said, I don't want to hear it, Zainab. I don't want to hear it. I said, listen, I ain't said a word. You know what I'm saying? Happy holidays to you and yours. Anyway, why was I talking about that? Whatever. Maya did a great job. Hopefully she permanently now has replaced Money Long in the concert, on this tour rather. And so hopefully this gives Money Long a chance to focus on her health. Money Long has lupus. Lupus is a what is it called? Oh, chronic. It's a chronic autoimmune disease that is most prevalent in women of color, and like, you know, Black women, brown women, Asian women, Latino women or Latina women. Women of color, which is probably why there's no cure. It's definitely like treatable, and there's a lot of people who live with it. But if you don't know what lupus is when your immune system attacks the tissue and the cells in your body. The very thing it's supposed to protect. It attacks it. So just imagine how rough that is if you don't have it under control, you know? But there's celebrities, just so y'all, because I'm sure y'all know the celebrities that have lupus, but just so you guys, you know, Selena Gomez has lupus, Tony Braxton, Trick Daddy, his obviously isn't under control because his obviously isn't control. You could visibly see it. Nick Cannon, they're saying Michael Jackson had lupus. I didn't know Michael Jackson had lupus, but this is what Google is saying. Paula Abdul, Seal. I think Seal was probably one of the first celebrities that, in my lifetime that I knew had lupus. But you see all the people that I'm naming, people of color, you know. Carrie Ann Anab, I think that's the lady from Dancing with the Stars or something. She's from one of them dance shows. Yeah, so Anyway, so hopefully Money Long is able to prioritize and focus on her health, and Maya replaced her. And Maya did a great job opening the show. Then Kelly came out, and Kelly looked the most beautiful I have ever seen. Not just Kelly, like the most beautiful I have ever seen Kelly Rowland look. And I don't say that like, oh, she looking better now. Kelly has always been beautiful, but this is the best I have ever seen. This is the best I have ever seen any female singer ever in life on stage. This is the best I ever seen somebody look. And I've seen a lot of people. Whoever you think I've seen them people in person. Whoever you think that I've seen, only person that I have not seen in person, I think, is Rihanna. That's the only person I think that I have not seen in person. And let me tell you something. I have never, I don't care how nice they look, I have never seen someone look as beautiful as Kelly Rowland looked the night I saw her in Detroit. I have never seen it. And then Monica and Brandy, they were fantastic. They were like perfectly what I thought they would be, if that makes sense. Like, They showed up exactly how I thought they would show up. Nothing more, nothing less. Just like perfectly how I thought they would show up. And I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I went with two of my sisters, and we had a good old time. And then leave it up to Michigan to be a snowstorm. Okay? A snowstorm. Yeah. And thank God the audience was, thank capital G-O-D, that the audience was wonderful, because I'm sorry, Detroit, I have to say it. I was not sure. Detroit, when y'all say what up though, y'all really have to find a concrete answer. And the answer is we need some reformation. We need work, y'all. What up though? We need work. That's all I'm respectfully. But like I said, of course in Michigan it's gonna be a snowstorm. If you think you want to be in Michigan during the winter months and it ain't gonna be a winter wonderland, but alhamdulillah, that did not delay my flight Monday morning when it was time for me to leave. Did y'all know they coming out with a cat Ozempic called Meow One? Sound like a joke, right? No. It's not at all. Instead of being called a GLP-1, because it's for cats, they calling it Meow One. Imagine living in a country where people are, imagine living in a country, living in a world where people are literally starving, but there are obese cats. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Whenever I see a pet owner with a fat pet and the pet ain't supposed to be fat, like if I see a pet owner and they got an obese pet and that pet it's an animal that ain't supposed to be obese. Like unless you got a hungry hippo in your living room, why is your pet obese? If you got a hippo in your living room, you better move out immediately, because hippos are dangerous. And it seemed like they not supposed to be dangerous, right? Because they just got them 4 pillar teeth. You know what I'm saying? They just got them fucking pillar teeth right here. It's like, it's crazy because hippos in the mouth look like they've been hit with the crack epidemic. You get what I'm saying? But they are dangerous. They are dangerous. In the body, they look like Nutty Professor, but they are dangerous. So unless you got a hippo in your living room, unless you walking a hippo on the leash, why is your pet obese? You got an obese pet. I be looking at people like, that's where my judgment does come in. My judgment does come in a couple of times, and we're going to talk about it on this show, but I'm going to judge certain things. My sister one of my older sisters, it's like a dog lover, right? And this is probably not something she would want me to share, and I'm sure this probably hits a nerve still. And she has like 2 dogs now that she just, she gonna give her life for, which I can respect, right? But 10 plus years ago, she had a Shih Tzu. When she was still living in Brooklyn, she had a Shih Tzu. And that Shih Tzu was getting fat AF. And I was just looking at the Shih Tzu and looking at her like, why the dog getting so, this is supposed to be a tiny dog. Why this dog is swollen? This is supposed to be a tiny dog. Ain't that the point? Even the name itself. Shih Tzu sound like it's supposed to be tiny. If you got shit in the name, you ain't supposed to be really that big, because people would not buy you. Because that sound like, this big ass dog, they're going to be shitting a lot. But the fact that you're supposed to be a tiny, cute little dog, that's why they allow shit to be in the name. Shih Tzu. Anyway, my sister's dog died. Died of being fat, I think. And my sister crying, distraught, and going to get on the phone with me. I'm the worst person for something like this. I will admit it. I'm the worst person for something like this. I really have to dig deep to activate some sort of sympathy. I really do. I will admit it. I may be the most unreasonable person to call in a situation like this. My sister called me crying. He died. And I was like, what? How did he die? She don't want to say how he died, because I know how he died. He fat as fuck. That little body. How that little dog body supposed to hold that much weight? I don't really know for a fact that that's how he died, but she ain't tell me, so I'm just going to assume whenever she leave information out, that mean I know the information. talking about, I'm just wandering in the street. I'm so sad. I'm just wandering. Verbatim. My sister knows. She said, I hope she don't watch this. My mom watches this, so I hope my sister does not watch this. But I'm too wandering in the street. I don't know what to do. I said, well, first thing, get out the street. She was like, Zainab, I'm not really in the street. I'm like, so you just being dramatic. How do I know what to believe and not to believe? If you talk about you in the street, not knowing what to do, and then I say get out the street, and you talk about you ain't really in the street. It's like, I can't be the problem. And her poor dog died. I like the dog too. That dog was a part of our family. I mean, as much as a dog could be a part of our family. And I said under my breath, girl, look in the mirror. Ain't nobody killed your dog. If you looking for the person that killed your dog, look in the mirror and cry to the person in the mirror. Because I ain't never seen that dog be able to open the refrigerator himself. I ain't never be able to see him feed himself. You giving that dog whole human food for what? Because you don't want to tell him no? That is so irresponsible. Imagine that. Anyway, that's crazy. If you could fix your face enough to be like, yeah, my cat is on Ozempic, we have to throw you away. We have to. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. And this is the part of me where y'all might feel like, Zainab's kind of mean. I think I'll accept that. If your cat is on Ozempic, I never seen no fat street cat. If you see a fat street cat, that's a lion. I saw I just looked over at my notes and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even mean for this seamless segue. But speaking of fat cats, I saw Wicked 2. Respectfully. Why was Michelle Yeoh in the movie? Wonderful, beautiful, well-respected Malaysian actress Michelle Yeoh. My mom loves Michelle Yeoh. My mom loves Michelle Yeoh. If you don't know Michelle Yeoh did everything. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Michelle Yeoh has done everything. But most recently, she won the award for, she won an Oscar, I think, for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's the thing that everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing that made the world be like, okay, we're going to pay attention to this Asian actress now. But Michelle Yeoh been working well for decades. But why she was in Wicked, I have no idea. I didn't realize it in Wicked 1, but in Wicked 2, Wicked for Good, she had to sing. She ain't even have to sing a lot, but it was too much. She sounded so bad. Why didn't they, if it was about like if Michelle Yeoh's name helps sell a movie, although Wicked seems to be a brand of itself with a phenomenal singer and a huge pop star, it's like the movie's going to sell itself. All you got to do is put a little thing with Cynthia Erivo going, That's all you have to do. And then Ariana Grande going, the movie gonna sell. It's already a brand. It's already a tried and true brand. You know what I'm saying? Did you just gonna keep repurposing? As much as Wicked isn't the Wizard of Oz, I'm sure they got some sort of copyright something. I'm sure they, you know what I'm saying? They got to be careful with certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't sing the same songs. It's not the same thing. But it's like this ain't a hard production to sell. But okay, if you saying that Michelle Yeoh was also a part of that package, sure, but you should have, if that's the case, I don't agree with that, but if that's the case, then why not get somebody to sing for her in the way that like we have voice? They do it in cartoons all the time. You'll have a voice actor doing the acting, and then they'll get a real singer to sing the part, to sing the songs. It's like, why not do that for this? Because it's like Michelle sounded so bad, it kind of jolted me out the movie for a second. And she don't sound bad compared to such strong singers like Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, she just sound bad. She sound bad like how I sound bad. She sound bad like if we was at karaoke, even the karaoke people be like, you know, that type of bad. When I sing, it's like you, when you sing so bad, it make you like less attractive. Y'all know what type of bad I'm talking about. I'm that type of bad. Where like people can't even give you the grace of everything else you bring. Like, ooh. I went to karaoke with the cast of Upload and some of, other people that are a part of the production and like, husbands and, significant others of people at Upload. Let me tell you something. The first couple of songs I sang, they was like, okay, we didn't expect you to sound that bad. And they didn't say that to me, but you could see it all over. Like, we didn't expect you to, how you so tone deaf and like, how is that possible? And they all come from some musical theater background or something like that. I don't know. And then it was one song, I guess it was a song that they really loved. And people wasn't about to sing it because I guess, the thing about musical theater people is they try to be mindful. Like, I don't want to hog the mic, right? Like sometimes. And so I was like, oh, I'll sing it. When I tell you they grabbed that mic from me so fast, like, it was somebody's husband grabbed the mic. Like, I was not offended. You want to know why? Because I know I can't sing. And guess what's also even more sad? Apparently, Michelle Yeoh turned the roll down 3 times and told them, I can't sing. Why? No, I'm not doing this. I cannot sing. And they did not let her. That's what's crazy about this business. And guess what else I found out? Guess what? Cheryl Lee Ralph auditioned for Madame Marable. So horrible with an M. Cheryl Lee Ralph auditioned for that. This is what's so disheartening about the business. It really is. And I do think it's the responsibility of, sometimes it's the responsibility of the artist. You have to just, Michelle Yeoh, she should have said no a 4th and 5th and 6th time. No. She should have said it in Malay. Is that the language for Malaysians? She should have said it in Arabic. She should have said it in whatever language she speaks, whatever language they needed to hear it in. She should have said no. No. She should have played the Destiny's Child song. No. And then stopped it there before they get to yeah. Speaking of black women that can sing, I think I need to address generational beef on this here show. And I'm probably going to say some things that some of the listeners get defensive about. So I'm just putting that out there now. Please don't get so defensive, because I can tell this happens, that you tune out before you hear my point. But just know that this needs to be said. It has to be said, but it's said respectfully and with love. I think on the last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, I talked about the legend, the icon, the wonder, the phenomenal. See how I did that? The multi-hyphenate that is Queen Loretta Devine, right? We were talking about them bringing Dreamgirls back to Broadway. And I low-key could tell what age range a reason is when they comment. I could tell. Anytime I start talking about an elder, and more specifically a black elder, like a black celebrity elder, let me tell you, it's like whatever I said good goes out the window if I even have a small critique or a joke or I disagree with something they said. It don't matter. It don't matter what praise I gave them. It's like that was unheard. It's tossed away. And then I get these comments with people sort of correcting, feeling like there needs to be this need for protection. And I'll be reading the comments like, sometimes I'll go back and listen to an episode that I have already listened to, obviously, because I edit the episodes. I'll go back and listen to it to be like, what did I say? Or I thought I did this, but maybe I didn't. And sure enough, I go back and I did it. We have to be able to say a critique without that negating all the praise. That's the thing about like funerals and stuff like that. Not that I've been to many funerals in my life. What sucks is, I've been to my father's funeral and my grandfather's funeral. And then aside from that, I've been on like comedians' funerals, which is really sad. But you really should be able, there's this thing that I've seen it in television. I've seen it in documentaries. I've heard it through other people's, families and friends, where I've seen it in news, where once a person dies, you can't critique, like you can no longer critique what they did while they were alive, who they were when they were alive. That's a very weird thing. It's also, it's just like, it's how do I say that? It's like somebody could be a terrible person and still be loved. And one doesn't negate the other. So if I say, okay, like here's the truth. I actually didn't want to say this because I understand that I lose faith in the way people listen, because I don't think people listen to truly hear or understand. I think people listen to be triggered. And that may be like, of course, that's not everybody, but like, so I specifically didn't say this at the top of the podcast, although I could have said it in jest, but I'm going to say it to prove my point now. A couple of minutes, probably about 20 minutes earlier, I said Kelly looked, like it was the most beautiful I ever seen a singer look on stage, right? Now, my next thought is, I didn't know not one of them songs, right? And I chose, and that's the truth. And that's the truth that everybody knows, right? Every single person that I spoke to was like, it's like, yeah, we know Motivation. And then you do a couple of songs in between that, and we don't know none of them songs, unfortunately. But then we know the Destiny Child parts that you sing, and thank God. And then we know you know the remake of Patti LaBelle song with Nelly, right? And we love that. So Kelly not having the strongest catalog, right? Which is a whole nother conversation that we could have. You know, I actually, I'm all over the place. Actually walked away wondering, like, dang, what could Kelly Rowland have been? Not to diminish anything that Kelly Rowland is. She is a wildly successful woman. She's a wildly successful person. You see how I got to keep self-correcting because I don't trust the world. I actually don't trust people on the internet. I don't trust people to listen and truly understand what so I constantly have to like self-correct, self-edit. While Kelly is a wildly successful person, I left that concert thinking, wow, if Kelly had all of the work that they put into Beyonce, if she had that, what would Kelly Rowland be today? What could she do it? Or is that, you know, sometimes we don't know what people have if they don't. It's almost like, whatever, this is too much. This is too much for me to navigate, right? There's somebody though. If I would have just said Kelly Rowland is gorgeous, but I mean, I don't know. No, it's somebody that would have been like, it's somebody that would have only focused. They would have completely negated the fact that I spent time on how undeniably gorgeous she looked. And they would have only focused on, I mean, Kelly got this song, Kelly got this song, Kelly got this song, Kelly got... And guess what? I would have also known that they was born in between 1981 and 1989. Just like I know the ages of the people that feel the need to come in and correct come in and protect the legacy of any older person that I start talking about, specifically older Black person. It's just like a live a while ago that I did at a comedy club. I don't know if it's still up, but I did a live. It was when I was doing the Sunday lives, and I had said, remember y'all, I said something about Denzel Washington, who I love and respect. So much so that I did a show. I shot something for Kevin Hart, so like a Kevin Hart network recently. And it's like the show compares things, right? And somebody proposed that somebody proposed that Leonardo DiCaprio was a better actor than Denzel Washington. And basically the point of this show is you got to get people on your side. You like put out a premise and you got to convince people to agree with you. Guess who never went on his side? Guess who loved Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor? Guess who loves Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor? Me. And guess who understood some of the points that was made? Me. But guess who ain't never go over to the side that was not the Denzel Washington side? Me. So you ain't got to come on here and protect people. I got the same love and reverence that you have for them. But sure enough, somebody who think they reasonable, but they probably more reasonable now, but thought they was reasonable at the time, but was completely unreasonable, got right in the comments. And if you're watching, you know who you are. Got right in the comments, if you still watching. Got right in the comments and was like, I don't like the way you talk about our elders. White people would never. First of all, if you this one thing that we have to say. If you think I care about what white people do and say, if you think on a grand scheme of things, if you think I care about what white people do, you ever see me? Have you ever heard me say anything about? From a Taylor Swift to a Bruce Springsteen, do you think I care what them and they elders do? But also, I told her, give me a time code. This disparaging that you say, that you've claimed that I've done against Denzel Washington in my life, give me a time code. Now, of course, she's reasonable because she came back and was like, "You're right. You know what? She didn't say this verbatim. You got to go back to see what she said, but it was along the lines of, I heard what I wanted to hear. Yeah, girl, ain't if anybody's protecting Denzel, it's me. But here's the thing: you're not gonna make me live in bizarro world. I can also say the truth about stuff. I can also give opinions. I can also say when somebody who is an icon, when somebody who is undeniable, I can also say when I don't like something that they do. I can also say, especially as a comedian in jest, I can say he don't need to be in Wakanda with his regular accent if everybody else going to have a Wakandan accent. I could say that my wish for Ryan Coogler is to keep Denzel's character, whatever that character is, in the non-Wakandan world. Or if he gonna be a Wakandan, can Denzel take on the accent? Now, if I cannot say that, if saying that means that I'm completely throwing Denzel and his legacy away, well, then we just got to stop the show. We got to stop the show. And I wish I had some pistachio latte to really have a sip right now. We have to stop the show. This ain't even like me trying to tell y'all how to be. I mean, I guess this podcast is kind of me trying to tell y'all be a little bit more reasonable. And sometimes it's like we all do it. We all do it. We all do it. The older people, I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm gonna do it when I'm like, it's older and older and older I get. I'm just too logical. I remember being at a comedy show, and this comedian was, he had a joke about Michael Jackson, white comedian. He had a joke about Michael Jackson. Y'all know this comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony's huge now, right? But he had a joke about Michael Jackson. And I remember A$AP Rocky was in the audience. And A$AP Rocky was like, nope, too soon. Now, obviously, it was not too soon. This was a whole decade or more after. When did Michael Jackson pass away? And y'all know I love Michael Jackson. I'm still in awe of Michael Jackson. But I don't know why I ain't feel the need, because the joke was like a funny joke, and it was a valid joke. It's like he wasn't saying that. It was a valid joke and a funny joke, so he did his job twice. A$AP Rocky stood up and was like, no, and the whole crowd was on A$AP Rocky's side. It was a black crowd. The whole crowd was on A$AP Rocky's side. A$AP Rocky was like, it's too soon. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about Michael Jackson while I'm in the, right? And I'm just, I'm watching popcorn. How's this gonna go? Tony doubled down. Tony roasted A$AP Rocky. Tony went back to his Michael Jackson joke, pointed out the flaw in the logic of not allowing him to do the joke. And by the end of it, guess what, y'all? Feel how you want about this. Guess what? A$AP Rocky at the end of Tony Hinchcliffe's set was giving Tony a standing ovation. I get why it's like, it ain't like, I get why even, I'm gonna bring up some oaths. Should I say this? I'm not going to say this because I don't trust y'all enough. The older people, they get very protective of how I speak about older black celebrities. And I completely understand that. People with body issues get protective when I say something about the human body, when I say something about bodies. If I speak about a specific culture, there's a heavy involvement of that culture in the chats. But so I understand it. Oh, I understand it. I completely understand what's happening. But with older people specifically, I think maybe this is a question I want to ask y'all, because at first I get defensive, right? At first I get frustrated. No, first I get defensive. And then I'm like, well, let me see what I did. And then when I realize I ain't do nothing wrong, then I get frustrated. And then I can't live in my frustration, right? Because I'm a solution-oriented person. So I'm like, well, what's happening here? This happens every single time. So so I have a question to pose to the people who are a little bit older. Or how about this? The people who feel the need to protect our older icons, right? Because ain't nobody say, here's the thing. I said verbatim. I said, because Vivica ain't been right. I said, Vivica career ain't been right since. I said, I mentioned home shopping. Ain't nobody protect Vivica in the comments. It was just a bunch of Loretta Devine protection. And everything I said was good about Loretta Devine. Except that possibly, you know what I'm saying, her opinion about remakes was a bit unreasonable. That's the only thing that I said that could even be, that's not even negative, but that's all I said. Loretta Devine. Now, I all the way just said like it was for Vivica Fox. Ain't nobody had nothing to say for Vivica Fox. Nobody. So I have a question for my older reasons. Do y'all feel unappreciated? Like as an older person in the world, I should ask my mom this. You know, do you feel unappreciated? I'm not of the age yet where I feel like threatened by like younger women or like discarded by society. I just don't, and I'm not saying that I am not of the age, like I'm not a certain age. I'm saying that I don't have that feeling yet. Like I still have too much confidence in myself and my self-worth and in the space that I take up in the world. I have a lot of confidence in that. I am reassured by that spiritually, still too much to be kind of like, to be like worried about a younger person. If anything, I kind of be like, dang, they so stupid. I want them to get it together. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, dang, it's like really that quote, like the youth is wasted on the young. Cause it's like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but do y'all feel unappreciated? Older people? Do y'all feel unappreciated? Or do you feel like the world is trying to erase you? I'm asking that genuinely, like and earnestly. Because somebody said in the comments, somebody had, it's like I'll read comments that rile me up, and then this is going to be a long episode, I'm sorry. I read comments that like rile me up, and then I read one comment, and then it will bring me back to, not reality, but I'll be like, oh, somebody's reasonable. And I don't want y'all to misunderstand me. I never am going to think you're unreasonable because you disagree, simply because you disagree with me. I like that. Y'all bring things to my attention that sometimes I'm like, I didn't think, thank you. You can see it in the comments. I respond to it like, well, this is how I feel about this. I really like that. I like healthy discourse, and I like that y'all provide perspective and information that may not be my own or may be information that I don't have. But some of y'all outright unreasonable sometimes. I could tell when I strike. I could tell when I was trying to think, what tense am I talking in? I could tell when I strike a nerve, and I could tell what the nerve is. You know what I'm saying? Like I could tell specifically what it is in you. Like this is a trigger for them, although I haven't really said anything wrong. But it's a trigger for them, right? Anywho, somebody left a comment. It was a very simple comment. They read, they remake plays all the time. And because a lot of y'all in the comments have put in the personal beef that Loretta Devine and some of the other women have with the director of the original play, right? And that's understandable. But what that got to do with them, don't nobody throw a fit when they remake when they do Miss Rainey's Black Bottom, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Don't nobody get mad when they do an August Wilson play over and over and over. Don't nobody got nothing to say about that. Nothing negative. Tell the young kids to get something new. When they doing Shakespeare over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Ain't nobody telling the kids to get something new. Do something new. Make up your own thing. I don't know. I think sometimes the younger generations, I do think that sometimes younger generations can take the people that came before them for granted. Or younger generations can be unaware of the full extent of an older generation's or the generation before them, their contribution, right? Sometimes younger people can be unaware of that. But I also think that sometimes the older generation wants to pave the way, but then they don't want nobody to step on the pavement. Speaking of the generational divide, I know this is from last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. It's basically old news at this point, but That video with them kids jumping, that pregnant mother and her kids, it's like in the words of T.K. Kirkland, who raised you? Again, this is where my judgment comes in. Let me tell y'all something. If a kid seem like they ain't shit, and then you go to the parents because you like, well, yeah, I can't beat up no kid, and I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me talk to the parents, right? And then you go and you find out the parents ain't shit. Sometimes, here's the thing. Sometimes I'm sure we have to be able to say these things, people. Every so often, you encounter a kid that you like, what's wrong with this kid? And then you go to the parent for some understanding and hopefully some help in making this kid a better version of themselves for the society, right? And you get in front of the parents and you be like, oh no. Whew. And it's like a lot of people been talking about this, and probably all of the best talking heads have mentioned some sort of restorative justice, which I completely agree with. But we seen the parents and them kids get on. You gotta throw the whole family away. This kid, the mama, there's no accountability. We gotta throw the whole family away. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know how else to say it. We gotta throw the whole family away. I know it sounds harsh. Y'all. But, and like, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all one of my favorite Six Flags stories. And then we're going to talk a little bit about football, Thanksgiving, kinda. And then I'm going to get up out of here. There's no Ask Z. But first, let's talk about where you guys can see me. My upcoming shows this weekend, I will be in Addison, Texas. That is the Dallas area. December 5th through the 7th, I will be at the Addison Improv in Addison, Texas. December 12th and 13th, I will be in Dayton, Kentucky. That is the Cincinnati area. December 12th and 13th, Dayton, Kentucky, Cincinnati area. And then wrapping up the year, December 26th. And then December 28th through the 30th, I will be in Miami, Florida at the Miami Improv. December 26th, 28th through the 30th. Those tickets are available. If you scroll down in the details of this podcast, you can click on the link, or you can go to my website, ZainabJohnson.com, ZAINAB Johnson.com. And then some dates that we've already added for 2026 is Austin in January. That's Austin, Texas. Chicago in February. Indianapolis in March. We have Atlanta in May. We have Washington, D.C. in June. We also have St. Louis in June. We have Tempe, Arizona in June. All the way out in October, we have Columbus, Ohio. But yeah, I'll be adding the 2026 dates to my calendar. So definitely check out my website, ZainabJohnson.com. Let's get back to the show. All right. So some years ago, a friend and I, we went to Six Flags. We went to Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is the Six Flags in Southern California. And one of her like theater friends came with us, a guy, this white guy. So it was three of us, right? We have a whole fun day at the park, and then we leave. And you know how like when you leave in Six Flags, you could get on a trolley to take you back to the parking lot, or you could just walk. And so we decided to walk. As we're walking, again, it's me, my friend, and her friend, who is this white guy who she was in acting class with, or a theater program together, right? Cool guy. And we're walking. There's this Mexican family, right? Like appearing to be young Mexican family walking in front of us. One of the kids of the Mexican family, I don't know why it's important I don't know why the ethnicities are important, but whatever. These are just the facts of the story. These are just the details of the story. Probably because when I do an impression, you guys are going to be like, oh, they must have been Mexican. But this little, little Mexican girl, I don't know, probably age anywhere between like 5 to 7, 5 to 7, right? Whatever she was eating, she had the container and she just threw it on the ground, right? And like, that's wild. That's learned behavior for you to just throw trash on the ground. When you walk in, you know how many trash cans it is on that path from the exit of the park to the parking lot? It's nothing but trash cans. But instead of this little girl throwing her thing, and forgive me if I told this story before, I don't think I did on this podcast, but it's actually one of my favorite stories and experiences when it comes to Six Flags. So instead of throwing it in the garbage, the girl throws it on the ground, right? And she don't like throw it on the ground like in an aggressive way or anything. She just throw it on the ground. Like the outside world, maybe in her house too, I don't know. But the ground is trash. That's trash. Now, I'm going to say that's learned behavior. It is, because you either learn to throw some shit on the floor or you learn to throw it in the garbage. Now, I'm not saying she good or bad for that, but I just know that that's learned behavior. But I don't even think nothing of it, right? Depending on what it is, I'm gonna pick it up and put it probably in the trash if it looked like it's something that I could touch without it, activating the germaphobe in me, right? I don't even have a chance to do that. The guy that we're with, remember, the white guy that's in my friend's acting class, he picks up the thing, right? As soon as the little girl throws it on the ground, he picks it up. He crouches down on one knee to get on her level, right? And he says, "Oh no." He said, he's in the most gentle way. He says, "Oh no." He said, "This is garbage, okay? When you're finished with whatever you're using, when you have garbage, you don't throw it on the ground, you throw it in the trash can." And he walks over to the trash can. And the girl is just looking at him. The little girl, she ain't looking at him like, what is he talking about? She actually like learning in the same way that she probably learned to throw it on the ground. Now somebody's teaching her something new, right? So she just kind of looking at him as he goes to the trash can. When I tell y'all, he don't even have to take a step. He don't have to walk far from her. That's how close the trash can was to where she threw the trash on the floor, right? He puts it in the trash can, right? The little girl shakes her head like, yes, like she acknowledges that, like, oh, okay, that's my other option. And then she turns around to go back to her family, right? When she turned around to go back to her family, I guess the man of the family witnessed half of it, right? He immediately launches into aggression and violence, starts coming towards us. But specifically the white guy. Oh, Holmes, you motherfucking Holmes. Holmes, I'll fuck you up, Holmes. Holmes, I'll fuck you up, Holmes. Don't ever talk to my kid, Holmes. Don't. Then the little Mexican girls, and I'm saying they little because they probably was my age, but they short. So that's why I'm saying they little. They start, my friend little too, my friend short, real short. So they start cursing us out, the little Mexican ladies. Oh, puta bitch, this is how they be. It's a cultural thing like in LA. Oh, puta, I'll fuck you up, puta. And I'm like laughing because it's like, I ain't about to be out at Six Flags fighting no Mexican family over littering. Oh, no. Even younger at that point in my life, I knew what was worth my time and what was not worth my time. But my friend, she little too, and she got a temper. And so she ready to fight them. Like, what, bitch? And she from Philly. So she's like, what, bitch? Make me take your head off, right? So they going back and forth. They coming towards us though, right? So now, I have to stop because it's like I don't want to fight you, but of course I'm going to defend myself, right? Let me tell you, the next thing that happened was the best thing that has ever happened in life. As this tall, big Mexican guy is like, I'll fuck you up, Holmes. Don't you ever, right? The white guy that we with, he stops. He takes off his glasses. They the worst glasses in the world. They them white guy glasses that you get at like a gas station stop. You get what I'm saying? They be reflected. It's like they the white glass. They the glasses that like white guys wear from Colorado and stuff like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He had on them glasses. He took them glasses off. He placed them on the top of the garbage can as to not mess up his glasses. He stopped and turned around and got in a kung fu position. He hit him with a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. He got in a kung fu position, pointed at the Mexican man and was like, let's go. When I tell you, when I looked, it took so much out of me not to laugh because I was like this. But when I tell you that white man that we was with, in his eyes was so determined, like I've been waiting to use this motherfucking kung fu on somebody. I've been taking kung fu since I was 6 years old. I've been waiting, and now I'm probably about 28 years old or 30 years old, I don't know. And I've been waiting. I've been waiting to use this I've been waiting to use this karate. Don't nobody know I'm all the way. I'm the highest belt, a yellow belt, whatever the highest belt. I'm a green belt, whatever the belt is. A black belt. Black belt got to be the highest, right? I'm a black belt in karate. And I've been waiting for years to use my black belt on somebody. And lo and behold, it's about to be this Mexican family at Six Flags. Why, when he pointed at the Mexican man, who also was about the same age, 28 to 30, I don't know, pointing at the Mexican man like, yeah, come on, you want to fight? Let's go. When I tell you, I don't know what that Mexican man saw in the white boy's eyes, he backed up. He's still cursing, oh, Holmes, that's all. But now he moving away. Now he retreating. Now they running. He calling his daughter, come on. Fuck you, Holmes. I'll fuck you up, Holmes. But he moving away. The little Mexican girls is cursing us out. They not cursing us out no more. When I tell y'all, my absolute favorite story, I was laughing so hard. The white guy, he was pissed. Because he knew. He was like, I just was trying to get her not to litter. Like, I thought I was doing a good deed. And I thought he was doing a good deed too. But my whole point of that story is that little girl probably ain't gonna be shit. Because her family ain't shit. The odds are against her. Now she might find somebody in the outside world that gives her a glimpse of like, oh, I could be something other than the ignorance that they teaching me. And of course, I'm not saying that, Mexican people are ignorant. I'm saying this particular family, they could have been anything. They just so happen to be Mexican. But that particular family, they ain't shit. And so the people that they raise, what you think people who ain't shit teach people to be shit? No, if you ain't shit, all you know how to teach is how somebody not to be shit. Whether you deliberately teaching them or you teaching them by example. Yeah, they wasn't shit. And they found out that day that they wasn't about to do nothing to us. But I'm like, I felt so bad for the little girl because I'm like, dang, all she did was litter. And all she did was learn that there was another option. But also, she learned from her family. I guess when people try to teach us the right way, we just respond with negativity and violence and aggression and like disrespectful language. That little girl ain't about to be shit. That little girl, what was that, 10 years ago? That little girl ain't about to be shit. Hopefully, somebody turned over a leaf. That's my point. I don't know if it's been made or clear. I don't know. Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. Okay, before I get out of here. So it was Thanksgiving. It was the turkey day. It feels so weird to say Thanksgiving now. Ignorance is bliss. Anyway, so apparently there's this football player. I never heard of him before, but I imagine if you watch football, you know who he is. His name is Trayvon Boykin. And he used to be a quarterback in the NFL, and he used to actually play on Russell Wilson's team. Russell Wilson obviously is like a really known football player, but I know him because he is the husband and father of CIARA's children. I feel like Russell Wilson don't be bothering nobody. I feel like CIARA don't be bothering nobody. But for some reason, people really like to attack them as like a couple in a family, Anyway, this guy, Trayvon Boykin, he was on a podcast and he starts telling this story about about Russell Wilson, about an experience, about how he felt some years ago when he played maybe on like the Seattle Seahawks. Is that the name of their team? When he was on the team with Russell Wilson invited him to Thanksgiving, and he decided years later on a podcast to share a negative story about him. And so let's watch and listen.
Russell Wilson, I went to his house for Thanksgiving. The weirdest feel like he catered. So no, you know, like, bro, I come from a traditional country black family.
We throwing down.
If I got as much money as Russell Wilson, my whole family would talk about me so bad if I ain't fly everybody out there for Thanksgiving. And I'm sponsored by an airline.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not close to us.
Okay, so it's so much wrong with, first of all, again, that's the reason why I don't love doing podcasts, and I don't love that there's so many podcasts. And I know the irony of that because I'm literally talking on a podcast. But it's also the reason why when I get like the signal, like spiritually, like shut your ass up, that's why I be shutting my ass up. Because I said it on an episode, sometimes you could talk too much. I probably, me saying throw the whole family away is probably too much, you know? Although it shouldn't be, but it's probably too much. But like, this is only, the only reason why this story is a story is because he's talking about Russell Wilson. So even if he has these same opinions, you know, he could have told this story without mentioning who it was. But if he doesn't mention who it was, then we never even hear about this podcast. So it's really just like, don't nobody care about what you got to say, but the fact that you're saying something about a celebrity who people are looking, he seems to have such a perfect image that people are looking to negate or soil that perfect image. And so you get on this podcast and it's such a slap in the face to say somebody invited you to their house for Thanksgiving when you in a city where you ain't got no family or nothing like that, and all you do years later is say it was weird, even if you felt like it was weird. Why not? Me and one of my sisters had to talk about this, like normalizing communication. You know what I'm saying? And being vulnerable enough to express yourself in moments. Like, why couldn't he say at that moment, like, hey man, you know, my family would have been like, what's wrong with in the moment expressing that to Russell Wilson? Like, yo, thank you so much for inviting me, but yo, if I was you, my family, they would be on me. First of all, we'd have had people in here cooking. I mean, I'm gonna taste the food. Like, I think it's dope that you had it catered, but you know what I'm saying? This would have never flown in my family. And then Russell probably, maybe would have told you why he chose to go the route that he chose. Whatever that is. Maybe his mama said, boy, I'm so happy you rich because I can't think about cooking another goddamn turkey another day in my life. Maybe his mama said, I'm so tired of getting on a plane. I can't wait till you get out of Seattle. Like, who knows? The way people be dead tired after Thanksgiving, and usually it only ends up in something. You done cooked all of that, and then at the end of the night, it just be drunk family drama. Who want that? But then also y'all hear him say, my family would have been so mad if I had all of that money and I didn't fly every single one of them out. Well, that's probably why you ain't got no money now. I don't know this man. I don't know if he got money, but all the conversations, all of the athletes, all the athletes and the young men of color that come into athletes, musicians that come into money. A lot of money quick. And then a decade later be on somebody's platform talk about how they ain't got no more money left because they flew their family everywhere. They was paying 94 cell phone bills. They had to get their sister this. They took care of their doctor. Well, yeah. Yeah. Now you ain't got no money. And that same family that would have been talking about you for not flying them out, now they talking about you because you used to have money, but you ain't got no money now. And they can't do shit for you. And so for me, as much as he think he spilling tea, As much as he think he's spilling tea, it's like you're only revealing that you have familial and financial trauma. That's what you're revealing. And like we say that it's really like cool. Like we talk, like he's talking about something that is not good with pride.
Maybe he's not close to his family.
And maybe he not. But his mama wasn't there. Sisters wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even though like, it's still weird to me. I'm just still even if you don't fool with your family, like it's still weird to me on Thanksgiving. My family gonna do the food. This is what we gonna. If you the one with the money, we coming to your house. You know what I'm saying?
If you the one with the money, we coming to your house, and we need you to buy all the groceries because you got the money, and we gonna cook it, and we gonna be laid up, and because you got the money, fly with it. All he is doing is reiterating generational trauma. What? And here's the thing: whoever, maybe that's the host or somebody, he tried to stop him. Maybe he don't mess with his family. He said, even still. So even still mean I'm supposed to financially support and have around the people that I don't mess with. It's the biggest lie ever told to us, that we are beholden to our family. And it's a religious lie. It's a lie that comes to us through faith. That we are beholden to our familial obligations, regardless of how terrible those people are. Oh yeah, I know he been raping everybody, but that's your uncle. I know he been beating everybody, but that's your father. I know she been stealing from everybody, but that's your sister. I know she always lying, crying wolf. That's why all three of us got felonies, because we done showed up in a lie that she did, blah, 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 blah. But that's your niece.
That part.
That's what we gonna do. So
yeah.
to get over there and catch Russell Wilson, like him is literally him, CIARA Daddy, me, Noonie, Baby Future, the chef, and 2 nannies, and 3 dogs. And Baby Future at that time was bad as hell. hey, Baby Future, what you think? You know everybody going around.
Imagine to invite somebody into your home, somebody that you consider maybe a friend, a teammate, obviously, right? But maybe a friend, maybe. Could you imagine? I'd never come to y'all. I'd never come to y'all and tell y'all what would be happening in any person's house that I've been to that is a public figure. I'll never. It should be happening. Especially my friend, I would never. Well, you want to know why? I mean, but beyond, I don't think I'm that type of person, but I would never want somebody to do that to me. Imagine that. Yeah, I came to Zainab's house and it wasn't nobody there. She had it catered. It was just her, me, the chef, a nanny. Now it'd have been weird. It's like you could say certain stuff is weird. It's like it's weird because I came in the house and they made me just wear handcuffs. Now that's weird. That's something we could all agree. I came in the house and they made me put shoes on top of my shoes. That's weird. But what you describing, you really just gossiping about nothing to be gossiped about.
Around the room saying what they thankful for and shit, like, Baby Future, what you thankful for? Oh, just thankful for I think he said something about like, I mean, he was a kid though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was a kid. I think he a lot better than that, but at that time, like, bro was just, he knew, like, I think he understood it, like, he knew he was just spoiled, just bad. You feel me? Like, who his daddy was, who his mama was, who he hanging around, like, he started to understand. And so in that case, like, but then I leave Russ' crib, go to Earl Thomas' crib.
Earl, that's more family oriented because you met me there.
We all was home when I stepped off at Earl.
When he go to somebody else's house and they more family oriented, which is like, that's life. That's human beings are different. But just imagine inviting somebody into your house and being hospitable and inviting them in to try to feed them. I mean, that's literally Thanksgiving. That's literally Thanksgiving, right? Ain't that what happened? Native Americans was like, yeah, come on, let's have a feast. Sit down. We made this whole feast for y'all. And then the colonizers was like, here now, and now we're gonna beat you, shoot you, rape your women, and give you syphilis. Thanksgiving. I think also in terms of like the word tradition, I think that we need to start normalizing, questioning tradition, right? Because it seems like that's what this football, it seems like this athlete, what's his name? Trey something? Trayvon. It seems like that is what he is kind of stuck in, like what he knows to be traditional, right? And I think sometimes we think traditional is synonymous with right, and it's not. So there's a story that I heard on a show, but I can't remember the show. I'm so sorry. And so this is not my story. I'm not taking credit for it. If you've heard this story and you know who it comes from, please put it in the chat. But I remember when I listened to it, it has stayed with me, right? Because the show, I believe they were talking about like not knowing really where traditions come from and like breaking, like doing new things and stuff like that, right? And I really loved this, as much as I can't remember, I really remember loving it because the beautiful thing about like kids and people who get permission to continue this beyond their childhood is like a healthy level of curiosity, right? Because a healthy level of curiosity means that you're not afraid to ask why. You're not just doing something for the sake, because your family told you or because your friend, because they've been doing it for so long, but you question like, why is this done, right? And then once you get the why, you can decide if you want to continue to do it. So this guy said that he learned how to cook from his mom, who learned how to cook from her mom, who learned how to cook from her mom, et cetera, right? And he said that, when they made a chicken or a turkey, I'm not sure what specific bird it was, but it was a bird. Whenever they would make it, they would cut off the legs. And he said that's how his grandma did it. That's how his mom did it. That's how he does it. And so now comes the time where he is the adult and he's cooking, and his child, I can't remember if it was a son or a daughter, but was, aiding him in the kitchen. And he cut off the legs of the bird and put it in this tray, in this tray or pot or whatever, to put it in the oven. And the kid asked, Daddy, why did we cut off the legs? And he was like, oh, we cut off the legs because my mom cut off the legs. That's how I know how to do it. He was like, my mom always cut off the legs every single time. And so the kid wasn't quite satisfied with the answer because it didn't really, it's still an open-ended, it's almost like a why infinity, right? And so the father was like, well, let me call my mother, because I can tell that my kid's curiosity has not been like sufficiently like answered, right? So he calls his mom and he's like, hey, Mom, you cut off the legs when you make the bird, right? And she was like, yeah. He was like, well, why do we do that? Because I was just doing that, and my baby was asking me why, and I was like, because my mama do it. So why do you do it? And she was like, well, I do it because my mama did it. And he was like, okay, well, let me call grandma. Let me call grandma and see why she cut off the legs to the bird. So he calls the grandma, or the mom calls the grandma and says, hey, Ma, so-and-so is making the bird, how we make the bird. And, the little grandbaby asked why the legs. And I was like, I got it from you, and he got it from me, and I got it from you. So why did you do it? And she was like, oh girl, I cut off the legs because the pot I had wasn't big enough to hold the bird. So I used to have to cut off the legs and cook the legs separate just because the pot wasn't big enough. But in his mind, it's like, no, it's a tradition. Because my mama did it, and her mama did it, and her mama. And the whole reason, the mama never explained, like, oh, this thing ain't big enough. So I gotta make it in 2 separate pots because this thing ain't big enough. But y'all think that y'all think that this is just the way my family do it. And now 2 generations later, you got more than enough big pots. You ain't even realized that you got a big enough pot. And it took that child questioning the tradition. That's all I got. Like I said, this weekend, I will be in Addison, Texas at the Addison Improv. That is this weekend, starting Friday through Sunday, December 5th through the 7th, 5 shows at the Addison Improv. If you haven't gotten your tickets, get your tickets. I look forward to seeing you. I will bring my last box of Hijabs Off vinyl records with me. And so if you haven't gotten one and you're in Addison, the Dallas area, and you want to get that, I will be there selling those after the shows and obviously personalizing them. And yes, I do have I'm Reasonable tees ready, and they will, whatever, we'll get to that. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of I'm Reasonable. I'm Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much. Until I see you guys again, stay reasonable, please.